All right,
And we're live.
and we're live. We
What's going
got
on?
we got Robert from Soroc Sabers. How do you pronounce it? Coach me
Soroc.
through it.
So it's actually a combination of my own real like legit name. So SO for Sotomayor, RO for Rob, and then my middle initial is C for Carlos. So I just figured I'd kind of switch those around and create Soroc.
Nice, nice. You should put it on more T-shirts.
It's right here. It's right here.
As
So
people know, as
I
people know, I have to mess with you. It's my duty to troll you, especially in the group. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
do it, do it. I love it. All my shirts. So I got a bunch of these patches from my boy, and I'll link them later. And he hooked it up. He did a really good job on the patches, so I'm really happy with them. So I had to buy in bulk. I couldn't just buy one or two. I had to buy like 25 of them. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just put them on 25 shirts.
Yeah, nice. And that was a mic, was it?
No, it wasn't Mike. It was oh man, his name escapes me, and he's gonna kill me. But I'll comment a shout out for him as well.
Nice for me to put you on the spot there, as I would do.
Yeah,
As I would do.
dude,
So
that like it's no secret. When it comes to names, I'm the worst. Like I forget people's names left and right. I can barely remember mine.
I swear you only remember mine because I troll you so much. But
Yeah.
okay, so let's get down to it. You are the owner. I mean, it's no secret. Uh, Owner operator of the Universal Lightsaber Society on Facebook. Probably one of my like top two or three favorite groups, and you asked me to come in and help you to mod it, along with Albert, Pete, and well, we have Michael
Mike,
now,
yeah,
last
Mike.
guest. And man, what a fun group. Let's talk about that. Why did you want to start that group? Because at the time we had, I mean, some of the bigger groups, which I'm also involved with. But then you started ULC, and I think it's like 2.5 years and change.
Yep, about 2.5 years.
And it
Going on
is,
three, I think.
sorry,
I'm sorry, going on three now. I think I could. Yeah, going on three now.
I think it's getting close.
Yeah.
And what it has evolved into, from my point of view, and I think a lot of the members would feel or say the same, is that there's a lot of big personalities, and it's kind of like stopping at Cheers on your way home. Like that's where all your friends are. There's big personalities. There's inside jokes. Everybody gets along, and as opposed to, let's say, 3 to 4 years ago, where people were really going wild about all the drama and BS that they would see in the groups. We don't really have that in ELC. So, having said that, go ahead and why did you start the group? Let's go from there.
So originally the group was started because I wanted a group that included everybody, and it didn't exclude anybody or make fun of anybody or put down anybody for what they had or didn't have. And that was my goal with the ULC. There's a lot of groups out there, and they're all great. They all have their place in the community. But one of the things that I was kind of burnt out on is just the bickering on who's better, or just oh, don't buy from them or don't buy from that person, kind of deal, when nobody's perfect. And I'll go as far as even saying, like, I don't want to mention company names, but there's the top three that we know of, or at least that I remember coming in and learning about. And then there was always, okay, this company's number one, this company sucks, that company sucks even more. And I've been in the community going on 6 years now, so I'm not that much of a veteran, but long enough to where I figure, you figure things out as how things operate. And so, from my personal experience, I think it's uh, just the luck of the draw. I guess shit happens, and when you do mass produce stuff, you're gonna get some bad eggs, and it just happens. The number one thing you got to do is take care of your customers. And there are groups or companies that haven't done that, haven't taken care of their customers for whatever reason, or the customer just wasn't happy with how they were taken care of, or if they were even taken care of. Um, but regardless, the point was I just wanted a community that can share everything, and everybody can put their stuff and be proud of their stuff because their stuff actually worked and it turned out the way they wanted it, without being ridiculed or made fun of, or et cetera, et cetera. So that's why I made the ULC.
Yeah. And I think it's, I would like to point out one of our members, I believe he may have been one of the original admins. I'm not sure, is Jeff Birch.
Yeah.
Because you also, in conjunction with Albert, you also lead Smugglers Outpost, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And was Jeff involved with that? I can't remember.
No, that was strictly just Albert and I. Albert came to me with the idea of, hey, we should kind of form together, and it was something I was already had in the back of my mind. But Albert took the initiative and hit me up on it, and I was like, yeah, I've been thinking about it. It is a good idea. It'd be cool to create a group of vendors that are in one platform to address whatever customers' needs may come to us, and we can just point them in the direction of those of us that specialize in whatever he's asking for, whether it be install, powder coating, etching, uh, machining, whatever it would be. They can just come to us and we can just take care of them all at once. That was the idea behind Smugglers Outpost. And being that I have my own page, Soroc, Albert pretty much just runs Smugglers now. Like, that's his page, his group. That's where he does his advertising. Even though all of us within Smugglers are tasked with posting at least something once a month, just to keep the page active and keep people aware that, hey, we're here, and we can serve you guys on whatever your needs are. And yeah, so that's why Smugglers was created.
Okay. And I'm just going to circle back to my intention with mentioning Jeff was the nerd up thing, which is embracing like no ill friction or shaming with regard to what, let's go ahead and say it, Ultra Sabers, Saber Forge. I mean, the hilts are what they are. It's known that some of it is not mechanically secure as another vendor hilt might be, but having said that, back to Smugglers, take a second and run down the members and what they offer to the community.
So currently, and God help me if I forget somebody.
Now you're really on the hot plate.
Yeah, dude, I forget people left and right. I'm just getting old. I mean, I look that old. Okay, so Albert does installs and he offers electronics. His speakers are top tier. Can't go wrong with his speakers. His Smuggler Outpost, he has his page where he offers installs, chassis, electronics, etc., etc. And then you have Jeremy Puckett. He does installs and custom work and whatnot. He does etching. He doesn't do PC powder coating. No, I don't think he does. But he does great etching. He does great installs. Like, man's a machine. Like, when I first came into the community and I was taking commissions, I would pump them out. At least I thought I was pumping them out quick, but that guy is just knocking them out of the ballpark. Like, he is on another level. So big contributors, Jeremy. Like, guy's awesome, solid guy. And then we have the legendary Pete Sandoval. He does our etching and PC work. Can't go wrong with Pete.
Juggernaut.
So Pete does amazing work. It speaks for itself. I don't really have to say anything.
I would pause you there for 1 second. The thing about Pete is I see people that don't even like etching on sabers go and comment on his stuff. So yeah, having said that, yeah, he's legendary Pete. Proceed.
Yeah, guy's awesome. Amazing work. Okay, so and then we have who do we have? And then we have Jr. Tyler. He does chassis and helmets, and I don't know if he's still doing installs or not. I haven't really kept up on him regarding that, but he came in doing installs and chassis, and I think now he's just doing chassis and helmets. Mainly helmets is what he's printing, and he does great work with his helmets. So if you need a helmet, hit him up. He does good stuff. And then after him, we have Mac McNeil. Mac does the installs, and he's learning to do chassis, and he's killing it with the helmets. So he's doing helmets too now. I don't know if he's advertising that yet, but his thing is came in doing installs. So we got Mac doing installs, and then let's see what else. It looks like you froze on me, dude. Are you there? Can you hear me? Or am I solo again? I saw Griff's live stream yesterday, and you kind of disappeared on him. So I don't know if that's happening here or if my signal is bad. Yeah, so we lost. All right, so there we go. We lost Clint. Clint's gone. I guess I'm running the show now. All right, so I'll just continue as I was saying. So we got Albert, Jeremy, JR, Mac, and then we have Mike Lines. Mike Lines is the man. He's the one that does all my banners. He designs them, he prints them, he gets them, and I'm kind of the distributor. So you guys come to me and you tell me what you want, and I will tell Mike, and he will make it, and then I'll do all the paperwork and all the shipping and all that stuff. So if you guys need banners or stickers or kyber crystals, Mike does great work. So I highly recommend him. And if you need a custom banner or a custom design, or you got your own logo you want put on canvas or vinyl, I can definitely take care of that for you. All right, and then we have James Rocco. James is pretty quiet. He doesn't really post much, but he does our blades. He does great work with the NeoPixel blades, and he uses KR's pixel strips. So big shout out to Cal for his KR strips. Those things are top quality. So highly recommend those. They're great for installs and your blade needs. So James makes those for us. And God help me if I'm forgetting anybody. Those are the only people I can think of. So yeah, and as far as smugglers, we've had people come and go, and whether it be for creative differences or changing career choice or just wasn't for them, we're not for everybody. Smugglers is we're pretty tight knit, and we joke around a lot. Like we talk a lot of stuff, joking around, and some people that's not for them. So it's obviously it's nothing personal if things work out or don't work out. We do have turnover within smugglers, and it's just one of those things. Oh, there he is. He's back.
Every 2 days now.
I saw your video with Griff yesterday, and you dipped out, and he was handling it on his own.
I know. And never mind. My kid decides, I'm going to update a 20 gig Xbox game.
There you go.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
I got my phone.
I've got it. So I've been working. Right. Don't worry. So
keep going.
I've been answering the questions. So I pretty much got everybody within smugglers. I don't think I'm missing anybody. It's Albert, Jeremy, JR, Mac, James Rocco, and myself, and Mike Lines. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, don't forget Mike Lines, because.
No, I gave him a shout out already. I already talked about him.
And did you get up with him on that idea today?
No, I have not talked to him. I've been in the shop, and I sent you a picture that I was in the shop working, so I have not had time to talk to him, but I will. But that's a great idea.
You want to do this for the group?
Yeah, go ahead, dude. It was your idea. Shoot it up.
All right. So, for Gentle Folk of ULC, my idea was, and I'm a graphic designer, but I'm old and I have old ideas. Mike, however, his work is stunning. You've seen his decals and stuff that he's been sending out in the groups, making stuff for different vendors, members, and so on and so forth. I got up with Robert. I was like, hey, man, why don't you approach Mike about doing up a ULC logo and T-shirt design and throw it up on Threadless. So look forward to that. Now we've kind of dropped the ball here. The cat's out of the bag. So Mike's on the hook for it.
Yep, he sure is. And he'll deliver. He always does.
Perfect. All right. One of the things that I wanted to hit you up on, because you come from an install background, please touch on your foray into installing. And then also, you went from an install point of view, then through fabrication. And so you're one of the few people, like I can install, but like I'll keep it for myself. That's it, because I'll beat on it. But you both install and fabricate hilts from scratch.
Yes.
So talk about that and go through like your I don't know, your insight as to, like, you know, making hilts from scratch to include wire passage and so on and so forth, making them sturdy and whatnot.
So originally, the reason I got into installing was when I first got into like the lightsaber community and I was learning about all these custom stuff. I hit up Jordan Mole, not Jordan Mole, sorry, Eugene Jordan. We all know who that is, unfortunately. And I wanted an install from him, and he was just booked up. He just didn't have the time to take it. And then when he told me his wait times, I was just like, dude, that's just, I wanted it sooner. Being new to the community, we all want things now, right? That's just the way it is. And those that come into the community that don't know the way things operate have a hard wake-up call when they figure out things take a couple months, not a couple of days. And so I was like, okay. And then I think I hit up Shamim, and I hit up, I don't know who else I hit up, but everybody was just like, oh, I don't have the time, we're booked, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And at the time, Shamim had his Nano Biscotti video, install video, how to do the Nano. And I was like, well, I have some electronic background. I have some mechanical, some technical. I'm sure I can figure this out. If I can build a car from scratch, I'm sure I can do a freaking a lightsaber. So that was my motivation to just fucking just to learn it and do it myself. So I watched Shamim's video just to kind of get an idea of what it entailed and what I needed and what I needed to do. And I was like, okay, well, I got a solder station. I got, pretty much everything that's needed. I just need to get the board and the electronics that are specific. The electronic components are specific for installing the hilt. And that's what I did. And my first hilt that I installed was a Bane V1 from Saberforge. That was the first one I took apart and put together with a Nano Biscotti.
Nice. Do you still have that hilt?
No, I don't. I sold it, and it got a ton of custom work. So yes, and going back to yesterday's video with Griff, I heard him talking about people doing Dremels and hacksaw and all that stuff, and that's how I started. I got that Bane, and I got a Dremel, and I started doing all these like cracks and window venting and blaster effects, and then I polished it up. And it turned out amazing. I think I still have a picture of it. And one of my customers was like in love with that hilt, and he kept bugging me to sell it to him. And at the time, I was like, nah, that was my first one. I'm gonna hold on to it. But then eventually, I ended up getting another Bane, and I was like, oh, I'll just do the work again. It's not a big deal, and I just sell this one to him, and I ended up selling it. So yeah, somebody else out there has my first install and custom machining with the Dremel job out there.
Nice. And if you can find a picture, Drop it in the comments and we'll see, because I'm sure people would want to see that.
Yeah, I will. I will. I think I do have a picture of it. I just have to dig it up. But yes, I do.
Nice. Okay. So let's go through a couple of standard questions then, just for whatever backstory, origin story, whatever. Star Wars, where's your heart by? OT, sequel, prequel, favorite
So
character, what have you?
I know we're jumping ahead, but I didn't finish answering the other questions you asked me as far as my process for installs and designing
Oh,
and
cool.
building a hill. So let me revert to that, and then I'll answer this question you just asked.
Yeah.
So as far as my process goes, being that I first learned how to do installs, one of my goals was, or let me step back. So first I learned to do installs, and then JR actually showed me the ropes on how to do chassis design, and then I just took it from there and started, creating my own stuff. So big shout out to JR for walking me through that process. And then, so I went from installs to chassis to, I'm like, okay, I got those things down. Now I want to learn how to actually make the hill myself. So I started doing my homework. I started doing research, and fortunately for my dumbass, I am able to pick stuff up real quick. Like if I see it, I can do it. Or if I can read it, see it, whatever. As long as there's something that I can absorb, then I can learn and go off of that. And that's how I learned how to do machining. So I watched a ton of videos on YouTube. Obviously, knowing from high school, because I did take wood shop and I did take machine shop in high school, and I do recall the safety stuff, and no watches, no bracelets, no long hair, no long sleeve. So I remember the safety stuff, and
Yeah.
so I applied that and made sure that I keep my limbs, because I'm going to need them when I'm doing machining. And I just went to town. I just took the bull by the horns and went with it. And luckily, I picked it up pretty quick. And Joe Pye on YouTube has great videos. I love that guy. That guy, I've learned so much from him. I'm surprised he's not, like, if he got into our business, he'd kill all of us.
Yeah, absolutely would. Yeah. So
Yeah, so that's what brought me full circle. I wanted to be able to do everything in house without having to send it to somebody else. So originally, when I was talking about the smugglers outpost and our members and how we've had turnover. I don't know if you caught that. We've had turnover. We've had people come and go, and it's just the way things work. Where we do joke around a lot, but I still hold us to a certain standard. And if whether we agree or we don't agree, or those standards aren't being met, then I am the one that does the dirty work and tell people, all right, that's it. It's not working out. You're on your way, kind of deal. So, what's his name? Patrick Cargill was actually a Smugglers Outpost guy. He was in with us. He was doing amazing work, and then we all know what happened to Patrick. And so I was like, okay, well, he's not doing our machining, or he's not going to be able to, because we just can't have that kind of rep in the Smugglers Outpost. So I had to let him go, and then that was my main motivation to get into the actual machining part, was because he was gone, and I felt that, okay, well, here's my opportunity. Let me pick up the torch, and I'll do it myself.
yeah. And I'm I'm kind of glad that you brought that up too. So we can just leave it there. But yeah. Okay. I apologize for interrupting you with the other question.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
But I did. That was I kind of gapped there. So yeah. Answer your favorite color kind of question.
Okay, so as far as well, let's go back to the trilogy. Which one's my favorite, right? So honestly, I've enjoyed all of them. I can watch all of them and be fine.
Right answer. Right answer. And now somewhere Mickey is spinning in his grave. Like pre-spinning in his future grave.
Yeah, he's free spinning. I've enjoyed all of them. yeah, there's holes in the storyline, and there's just stuff that's just like, why is that even in there, or is that necessary, or could we have gone a different route and expanded on somebody else's story or origin or whatever. Yeah, it's true, but not everything's perfect, and not everything's going to be the way you as an individual want it. Um, so I'm okay with it. I've enjoyed all of them. I watched all of them, and several times, and every time I watch it, I get a kick out of it. So
Yeah.
I'm good. No, now the only thing I can't get into, and I have a hard time getting into, are the animated series. I got into Bad Batch. I was able to watch Bad Batch, and I was fine with Bad Batch. But the other ones, like for some reason, like Griff says, it's a sleeper, man. It just puts me to bed. I can't. For some
Really?
reason, yes, I can't watch the animated series. I don't know if it's a psychological thing because you're an adult and you don't really watch cartoon stuff, even though you enjoy your cartoons when you were a kid and you have fond memories of them. I think it's psychological. I think it's more that we're at a stage or an era where um, movies are so high up with technology and CGI and graphics and all that, that when you're watching and something animated, it's like, it's okay. It's not it doesn't give you that wow, or that wow factor from watching a full blown movie. At least that's for me. Obviously, I'm talking on my behalf.
No, and that's fine. And I'm seeing a couple of questions here. Max Chowdhury's in the room here, and he's piped up and said Clone Wars is very hard in the beginning, but it got great. So for me, speaking from my point of view, I would say my first child, my son, was right about 6 or 7 um, when Clone Wars came out, and I started watching it with him because my wife we had our second child, so we had the house quiet. I'd take him out to the shop where now I machine stuff, and we'd start watching the Clone Wars, and he got right into it, and I got to be a kid again. You know what I mean? So it was, for me, that was kind of like the best of both worlds, right? Being a new dad and being a kid again. So made it great. But I'm actually surprised that so you haven't watched Rebels either.
No, I haven't
Okay.
watched Rebels. I haven't watched Clones. I've only caught Bad Batch. Um, And see, that's the thing though. Like for you, you had that bonding experience with your child who can enjoy it, and you're watching them enjoy it, so it makes you enjoy it more. So you have that connection. If and even though I love Star Wars, and you guys are gonna kill me, like I prefer Marvel, and I've said this, and I've made it very open. Like I'm more of a Marvel fan, but my love is with Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, Marvel's killing it too, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I would agree with. Well, shit, I can't say I would agree with your statement because someone's gonna pull my nerd card. But yeah, I would definitely say like you're justified in saying what you did. Marvel is really killing it with the franchise, and they have been since the first X-Men movies.
Yeah.
So, shit, I got to revise that statement. They have been since Blade.
Yes. Blade. Oh
Because
my God, dude!
I
Please.
know someone's going to pipe up and be like, you can't not mention Blade without saying Marvel in the same sentence.
Yeah, dude. Blade #1, epic.
So yeah. All right. Well, what time is it? We're at about a half
12:44.
hour mark.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up the thing that you probably don't want to talk about, and it was in the group this morning. So, Red Fox drummer, take a bow. Albert, take a bow. Are you actually considering cutting your teeth on doing a run?
Yes, I'm buying the material. The material's coming. I'm gonna do it.
Really?
Yes, I
Really?
wasn't kidding. When I posted that picture, like that's gonna be the base. I wanted something that's that wasn't just all aluminum. I wanted a mix of brass and aluminum because I love hilts that have both metals on them.
Yeah.
And when I do my custom stuff, you will see that I mix metals. I like having brass. I like having aluminum. I like having little greeblies and areas for blinkies, and that's my thing. Like that's what attracts me to sabers. And so I figured when I make stuff, like, see, you'll see that there is brass here. There's a lot of brass.
Yeah.
Brass everywhere and laid on this hilt.
And
And
not to mention the weight of it, especially. Show me the center section again. The choke, yeah, because that's a brass choke, isn't it?
yeah, that's all
Yeah,
brass.
yeah. And so like the weight and heft of it. So
And this part
and
is actually steel. So this is steel, then aluminum and brass. So you have a good mix of everything in here.
nice. And I kind of forget I know I did see your post and you had like images and stuff for the run. What's the inspiration behind the saber?
So the inspiration behind the saber is so the design, it's really something that I've had in mind, but I don't think I've seen anyone kind of do it. Like, it'll kind of generally be something similar to this style, just not as complicated. Um, but it'll be something similar to this. You'll have a pommel area that's a little wider than the choke area, and then you'll have the emitter where it'll come up a little bit bigger than the choke as well. But it'll be nice and proportionate and symmetrical and appropriate to size and weight. Um, this hilt is not that big. Like, my hand is almost as big as this hilt. So I try my best to make my hilts to where maybe in picture they may look like they're big, but in reality, when you hold it, like, it's not that big. They're pretty small, and you can fit a lot of stuff in here. So that's one of my goals when I make a hilt is I want to make it unique. Obviously, I want to make it installer friendly, and I want it to be durable. I want it to be able to, like, just go out and you can whack it around and not have to worry about anything. But my main goal as a designer, as somebody who puts stuff together, having experience from um, installs, creating chassis, and now fabricating, making your own hilts, is I strive to put those everything I've learned in those three divisions of the building a saber and making it unique, installer friendly, and usable and functional without any issues.
Yeah.
Those are my goals. I usually always, one of my main goals also is to make sure a 28 millimeter speaker will fit in that hilt. That
Yeah.
is that is for me, that is a priority. If I can't put a 28 millimeter speaker in that hilt is not going to get made. At
Yeah.
least for me.
No, and I agree. I agree. All of the builds that I had used 24 millimeter speakers. Yeah, 24 or 25. And I got one of TJ Well's Mercury Sabers. I have it sitting right here with NeoPixel. I should just light it up to piss off Mickey. But I had that installed with Profi and the 28 mil Smuggler's Outpost deep bass speaker, and put the grayscale fonts, which if you guys haven't tried them, go and get his fonts. They rock, and I can't believe he's not charging money for them. That thing, like, when I lit it at first, I have a D ring on the side. Where is it? Right there. And when I lit it, the D ring was rattling on the side, like the entire grip just vibrates when you're holding it.
Yeah, those speakers are loud and they're bassy. They're great.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'd say, I don't know. We got Darth Pepsi on YouTube wants to know if you weld.
I don't weld. That's a skill that I will be picking up, but I do not weld, not yet.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
don't. I don't have the space for it. Is what's holding me back.
Well, and there's only so much time in the day, right? Like, you have work and family time, and then you have the community, how much stuff do you want to try and cram or shoehorn into that time, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Well, I know a lot of people want to, it's Labor Day weekend, which, by the way, happy long weekend. And by the way, thanks for your time as
No,
well.
anytime.
Um, in closing, is there anything else you want to mention? Anything you want to drop in your week?
Um,
And sorry, for anyone on YouTube watching that's not familiar, on Facebook, Universal Lightsaber Community, uh, which is the group that we're broadcasting to or intended for. And Rob's the owner, so go check it out. Don't proceed.
everybody's welcome to join. Come on in.
Yeah. So yeah, in closing, is there anything you want to drop? Anything you want to say to buyers, sellers, members, anything like that? I know, broad question.
Wow, that is a broad question. Just for crying out loud, don't be jerks in the community. Like, have some social skills. Like, learn to have some restraint. And I'm guilty of it too because I can be a smartass, but I'm a smartass with my friends. Like, if I see something that I don't like or I don't agree with, or I just think it's like whatever, or it's been done, I just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling. Like, it's not. It takes more effort to type and be a jackass than to just keep scrolling and look up something else.
Yeah.
Just try to be cool with everybody. Try to show that mutual that level of respect that you would wish upon yourself as well. Treat others as you want to be treated, kind of deal. Definitely, uh, just be there to show your love for Star Wars and be happy with it. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the community that a lot of people don't see, or people don't see, or that have been around long enough to know um, the ins and outs and who gets along with who and all that BS. And I'm guilty of it myself. It's just the way things are. We're not always going to see eye to eye. We're not always going to agree, or we may feel wronged by others or whatever it is. But it doesn't need to drag on. Like, if you need to speak your piece, and then just that's it. Let it go, move on, and do your own thing, because that's the only way you'll be successful in this community.
Yeah.
Is just put out good work and do your thing. Don't worry about what anybody else says, regardless of who it is. Even if it's me, if I don't like your stuff, or if I, for some reason, talk shit about you or whatever, just focus on you and do your thing. That's what's worked for me. Like, I have a big voice, I have a big mouth. That's just my persona. Go ahead. You were gonna say interject.
No, no, just being smartass. You have a big voice, big mouth. Oh, I wouldn't know anything about that.
So yeah, but it's just we all have our egos and we all have our our product and stuff that we'll fight and defend for, and our friends and our members and whatnot. But when it boils down to it, and I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart, everything that I do, I try to do it for the benefit of the community. I
Yeah.
do it to better the community, whether it's talking to somebody I really don't get along with, to try to make amends and fix things and work things out, so like that the community can benefit from individuals who provide a service that that makes our community what it is. That's what I try to do, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, and you can't make everybody happy. But what you can, well, if you can salvage what you can, then why not? Um, so that's my thing is kind of a peace and love kind of thing. Everybody live and let live. We don't have to shit on each other all the time, but on that same token, I know it may sound hypocritical for me regarding one individual, and that individual has been given like 2 or 3 chances already, and I don't think it's fair to allow them to continue to leech off of others. So I'm not going to let them do that in our group. And that's it. Enough said with that, you know. So I just wanted to clear that up so that people are aware.
Well, because I think there, and that was not a, I didn't expect you to bring that up, but anyhow, there is some quiet chirp chirp out there, I'm sure. So that puts that to bed. So we got V Vaderbong, Vader I don't know what that name is. Putting those chassis out there like it was top notch. Putting those chassis out there was top notch. So someone commenting on your chassis models.
Yeah. So yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I love this community. This community has given so much to me, and yes, I've had to work for it to get to where I'm at. But I've received so much. You can see what's behind me, um, and it's nice to be able to give back. And that's why, you know, I don't mind putting out of my pocket to give back to the community that has given so much to me.
Yeah.
So that's why we do our giveaways. And speaking of giveaways, we do have our yearly giveaway coming up. It's almost December, so
Right.
got to. And I was thinking about this last week. I was like, oh, I need to make a post regarding our holiday stuff. So the vendors that want to donate, they can donate. Originally, the stuff started with just smugglers donating stuff to the community, and then I was getting vendors from different vendors hitting me up. Hey, can we jump in on your giveaway stuff? Absolutely, absolutely. This is not a cool kid club where people are going to be excluded. Anybody who's anybody or anybody who's not anybody that want to give back, you guys are and gals are more than welcome to do so.
You heard it here first, folks. The 2021 giveaway coming up, ULC.
Yep, coming up.
So awesome. And let's make some people happy.
Yeah, that's what it's about, is to give back. And and Jeremy sent me a bunch of chassis with old electronics, and what I do with those chassis is I give them out to kids. I mean, not the chassis, but I'll install them in a hill and I'll give them out to kids. Like, I have a bunch of scratch and dents that I just got, that I've gotten from Saber Forge's last scratch and dent sale, and stuff I've accumulated over the years of them doing scratch and dents. I always buy in and get a bunch of stuff, and it sits here. And I shit you not, I probably have like 100 hilts that I can put together with just all these scratch and dent stuff.
Nice.
So it's all about giving back. And so what I do is I'll just grab one of those, I'll whip them together, I'll customize them, and then I'll donate them. So people can enjoy them.
Nice. Awesome. So, all right. Well, this has been, I think there's a few people that are going to be like a little bit enlightened. Who is Robert? What does he do? As far as origin story, I'm going to assume that you were spawned by reptiles in the prehistoric age. I don't know.
So my origin story, so Soroc. So I've always been, and this might sound cliche or whatever, I was born in October. October babies are Libra babies.
21st.
The 21st, correct. And being on the 21st, I'm on the cusp of Scorpio. So, I have a little bit of attitude with me. That's the Scorpio side. And I know a lot of people don't believe in that stuff. And I, for the most part, don't believe in it. But a lot of the traits I do believe in, on how somebody's personality, and I wouldn't say I studied it, but I do observe and watch, and I do match stuff up, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, that individuals like that and whatnot. So anyways, so being that I'm on the balance side, I try to keep things fair and equal as best as possible, because I'm not perfect and we all make mistakes. But my origin is, I'm nor good nor bad, but I'm not going to say gray, because I know a lot of people are going to kill me if I say you're a gray Jedi. They don't exist and all that whole debate. So I'm not going to say gray, but I'd like to consider myself somebody who studies both aspects of the Force, good and bad, and applies it when needed. But I am not going to side with you because you're a Jedi, and I'm not going to side with you because you're Sith. I'm going to side on what I feel is right.
Yeah. 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 mean, that's a decent place to come from, I think.
Yeah,
So,
that's my character's origin.
nice.
I'm just a loner in the shadows, watching and observing. And if I need to attack, then I'll attack.
Getting trolled by me 24/7.
Yeah, getting trolled by Clint 24/7.
Awesome. All right, brother. Well, it's been a really nice chat. Stick around for a couple minutes after I end the broadcast. And any more questions or comments, just drop them in ULC group. I'm pretty sure I shared it there before my Wi-Fi went and took a dump again. So have a good Labor Day weekend, or rest of,
Yeah.
and may the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Thanks for watching, guys.
Peace out, Robert.
Later.